Hey, Muskrat Nation, welcome back to Lemire Legends, home of 10,000 Lakes Taxidermy. Today we're going to begin step one of doing a life-size mount on old Chisel tooth. This fits right in line with Muskrat Nation because you can see by our little form here, size of a rough grouse in my hand. He's not much bigger than a muskrat. But if you're wondering where we've been, our apologies. We always wanted to put out consistent content, and it's been a couple of weeks. And of course, in the taxidermy trade, things are pretty busy right now. And I had a friend of mine that had a nuisance beaver problem on his property, and we went in my spare time. You know, I helped him out. We got a couple little ones out of there, and I caught a bigger beaver there. So that's where we've been. And in the meantime, in our runs, we picked up a couple of grouse. Check out our other videos for upland game bird taxidermy, picking out a good bird. We got some pheasants lined up. They're going to be here in the shop pretty soon. And we're going to continue part 3 of our upland game bird series on that. And what I want to follow up with here real quick is, you can see, before we get back to old Chisel tooth, you know, this is a good bird. I mean, this is what you're looking for a rough grouse. And this one will be on eBay soon. I mean, this is a nice hen, probably a hen, 90% chance that it is. But that's on the Upland Game Bird series. Like I said, apologies again. We're kind of all over the place. We told you that from the beginning. So please like, share, subscribe. Don't get discouraged because what you've been watching and content isn't there. We're lining up the playlists. You know, when we finish up a series, we're going to get that there. But like I said, we've only been at this a year, and this is all free information for you. You know, so help us out and hit that subscribe button. So let's get started on our old Chisel tooth adventure. And I had a couple of viewers. They leave comments that keep the jokes coming. So we're gonna do this one at viewer discretion. So we're gonna put this one at, let's see how we're gonna phrase this, mounting old Chisel tooth, because you know what would happen if we'd put the word beaver in there, and we'd have some
mounting a little beaver.
We'd have people searching promo. I said promo, and we don't want that. This is a family-friendly mounting channel. So anyways, let's get started with this. We're going to run through some information here, what you're going to look for as far as the 2 or 3 things that are key in mounting a little critter like this, a little beaver. And we're going to run through that here real quick. We're going to run through how you want to fit for a form. Then we're going to get into the skinning of this. We're going to actually use the original tail just to save money and not have to cast a tail. I'm going to show you how to skin this out in one of the parts of this video, and how you can save this. Actually, this tail, you can save this. And
that's a nice tail.
Yeah, he's a cute little guy. And Joe's behind the camera here. Joe's learning taxidermy. She's my fellow muskrat adventurer on this. So she wants to learn as she films this also. And we're gonna get started on this. So, okay, first thing you want to do, you want to get the grouse out of the picture. And like I said, not to be squirreled and jump all over the place, which I'm really known for, but
Not in taxidermy.
Yeah. Nothing to see over here. But anyways, you know, that Upland Game Bird series, I have somebody that I've been working with for a long time at a game farm. I'm fortunate enough to hook up with a friend of mine from the Dakotas who's bringing me some pheasants. We really have, there are some grouse here. We've had to work for them, you know, but unfortunately in northern Minnesota, I have never seen so much traffic and the trails hit so heavy and the pressure on these birds. And there are some nice ones out there, and they're getting feathered up nice. But if you want to make your living doing just grouse alone, rough grouse, negative. Not northern Minnesota, you won't. But anyways, between the combination of the pheasants and the grouse, game farm chuckers and quails, that's going to be part 3 of our Upland Game Bird series. I'm not pushing any of this, but I'm telling you, that's one you want to catch, and it's coming up real quick. But anyways, back to the beaver situation that we have in the house. So what we want to do here is, first thing, this beaver was harvested in a body grip trap, okay, which was, you can see right here. It was taken right here, but there's no damage at all. I mean, not like a leg hold trap where you'd have damage. So this is an ideal specimen to start with. The next thing you want to do, a common rookie mistake, whether you're doing a squirrel, old chisel tooth bucky beaver like this, when you mount this, you don't want your mount to be like this. You want this to be natural and closed. And notice how we're not going to have the bottom teeth at all exposed in this mount, okay? Just like a squirrel. I don't like to have the bottom teeth. And look at this small beaver. See that when his mouth is closed, this is an important thing to note right now before we even skin this beaver out. See that? This thing he doesn't have this old cartoon overbite thing going on, right? Okay, natural. All right, see that? Just that little bit. And I learned the hard way a long time ago. I did a squirrel for a gal, and I had this big overbite of this squirrel, and he looked like he was ready to take your arm off, right? But don't do that. When you mount something, make it natural. And what I want to do on this is I don't want to give it the cartoon effect, but I am going to sell this, and I want to make it lovable and cuddleable and all that kind of stuff. And it's a cute little beaver. So I'm just going to do that right there. Okay, we're going to have just a little bit, maybe the teeth exposed. And take note on your mold. Okay, right here. Let's see, let's go this way so the camera can get in on it. Sorry there, Joe. All right, so anyways, you can see where we're at right there. Now this is a pretty good sculpted mannequin. The price is right. And notice how that lines up pretty nice. See how he sculpted that? See that slant he has right here, going back right there? That's pretty much what we have right there, don't we? We might have a little bit of well, that's the taxidermy business. You're going to get a couple of them little fleas once in a while. But from the nose to there, we've got just a little bit of a difference there. Not too much. And you see where his whiskers are right here on this beaver? Width-wise on this right here. We're going to have to put clay in here on both sides of this. All right, and what that's going to do when you put that clay in there, that's going to help these cute little whiskers stand out when you clay this in. That's going to help you. That's going to help you make those whiskers stand out. And that's going to make him more cute and adorable and more saleable on the marketplace. Okay, so anyways, that's that. Now you're here for the how-to on the taxidermy, not the marketing aspect of it, and not what I did for the last 2 weeks or whatever it's been. So let's get started. Okay, first thing, we got this little mold here. End of the nose to the corner of the eye. I just got a cloth tape measure. We have about 1 3/4 inches, maybe slightly less, 1 5/8 inches maybe. Old chisel tooth here. Corner of the eye to the tip of the nose. Probably about the same. He might be slightly over, but that's okay because we're going to add a little bit of clay right here too. So we're about spot on there. The next measurement we want to take is tip of the nose. You can feel the back of the skull is right here, right? So we're at about 5, probably no more than 5.5. Same thing here. We're going to put a little clay on the nose. So we're going to fudge 1/4 inch. We're at about 5, 5 1/4. So we're just about right. Okay, width between the ears right here, between the eyes. Let's just see what we got. Okay, between that eye, and if you had a calipers, this would be a lot easier, but we've got about less than 2 inches, okay? We got about 1.5 inches. So we're going to keep that in mind when we set these eyes. I could tell right now on this beaver, notice how a beaver's eyes are off to the side of his face or his skull, okay? They're not out in front like a predator, okay? These are herbivores. Predator's eyes are a little bit different, okay? They're out in front more so they can see down. These guys are being hunted all the time, so their eyes are off to the side. So when I set this, I'm going to have these eyes over here. My eyes aren't going to look right down the front, okay? They're going to be off to the side. And notice that beaver right there. See the eye in that beaver? Okay, that's not very big. I got a little dental spoon here, and that's as big as the eye is. Okay, they're not nearly as big as this opening is. So keep that in mind when you go to set your eyes. Our eyes are going to be set like this, not pointed out in front. Okay, not like a coyote, or here's a fox. Do you see a fox? They're predators. Their eyes are out in the front of their head. Okay, they're looking this way. These animals that are being hunted, squirrels and whatever, muskrats, beavers, their eyes are this way, off to the side. They're not pointed straight forward. They're looking this way and this way. Okay, so keep that in mind.
So,
yep.
Just sorry, silly question.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll do the eyes more like down in here?
Right, yep.
Like, are you going to carve new holes or just work with what you have but keep them down in there and clay
Yep.
the rest in?
Yep, that's going to be in a future video. We can.
Okay,
sorry. We're going to come like this. Okay, and we're going to come in like this. And the easiest way to do that is you can take a Phillips screwdriver and you can do it, or you can take the right size drill bit. And we're going to come in like this, and we're going to come in like this. Okay, we're not going to run the drill this way and set your eyes like he's on point, okay? This isn't your Muskrat Nation Cocker Spaniel, okay? He's not hunting this grouse. All right? He's not doing that. So anyhow, that's okay. No, that's what this channel's all about. We're here to share information with you. And, if you have any questions, throw us a comment. Actually, even let us know. This is the old Chisel Tooth video. What country you're watching from? I'd like to know if in your part of the world, if you have beavers. I know here in North America, these old little pelts right here, this is what grew in the United States of America and Canada. So anyway, I think they're a really cool animal. I have a lot of respect for them. And like I said, these are a nuisance to a friend of mine. So they needed to go. He was losing a lot of valuable timber. So anyhow, the next thing I want to talk about is the length, okay? So what we're going to do here, we're going to measure from the tip of the nose to the base of the tail. We've got just under 21 inches, okay? And you're going to go, well, this little guy, that's you could tell already this isn't going to work. But yeah, it will, because what we're going to do here. And this is part of the marketing of your business, and having this kind of stuff available ahead of time. These mannequins, you have good reference. You have the critter on hand already.
You want me to go just a tip over since you're gonna, okay?
We have the critter and we have the mannequin already here, so we can get a cross reference on everything right now. Okay, we've got about 18, but that's fine. That brings into play the next thing. You're wondering why do I have all these cuts in my mannequin? I did this with about roughly a 5/8 inch drill bit. I went in and I cut grooves underneath here, and that's going to be a future episode when we get into mounting this. And the reason I did that is we can put some of this potter's clay up inside of here, okay? And we can tuck that extra fur in there. And that's kind of what we're going to do, is we're going to tuck that extra fur in there. So you're like, geez, we got a couple extra inches of beaver, right? Okay, so we can tuck that up inside of there. The next thing we're going to look at is girth on this. Like, well, okay, we got 2 extra inches of length. How are we doing on the girth wise? We got this little guy right here. Yeah, we've got about maybe 16, 15 and a half, 16. We're going to take this thing and we're going to see where we got right here. Okay, we're at about 18, somewhere in there. So again, that's 2 extra inches that we can tuck up inside of here. And we got these sharp edges, and that's where the clay is going to come in handy. We tuck this pelt up inside of there after it's tanned. We have that clay in there. These rough edges are going to be non-existent. That clay is going to ooze out of there, and we can feather that all in, and we'll have a good looking critter. The next thing I want to talk about, that's why I like to have extra mannequins on hand so I can see what I have to modify. We had talked clay in here. We had talked clay right in here for where his whiskers are going to go. The next thing I want to talk about is right here. All right. Let's see, I'm going to set him right there just like that.
Sorry, I'm never sure where he's going next.
Yeah.
I try.
We're getting there. So the next thing I want to talk about is that this beaver is sitting on his hind legs like this. All right. He is a little bit bigger than this. He actually is quite a bit bigger than that. But that's okay. I want to sell small, cute, cuddly little things. That's kind of a hot thing right now on the internet. So, and you know what I do is this isn't a customer's piece. This is, you know, he's not expecting the bigger the better, right? I'm going for cute and cuddly on this one, so keep that in mind. I'm gonna cut this down, but you can see that right there. Look at this. Okay, this is kind of a key little point on this beaver. He's gonna come down the back. His back is gonna be arched a little bit, and this little nodule right here is about exactly what this beaver is right here when it comes down. Okay, we've got the girth right here, just like this, and right here it comes down to the base, and that's the transition right here. We're going to add a little bit of clay in here, and we're going to continue to use our original tail. All right, so that's just some things to keep in mind. Now we're going to talk about skinning this, and unfortunately, this day and age, I can't show the whole skinning process. I'd like to, and I want people to know this is for educational purposes only, okay? We're tap dancing all the time, and if you can put meat in the video, if you could show skinning, if you can't show skinning. I know a number of trappers, taxidermists have been demonetized, and unfortunately that's the day and age we live in. The end game for myself and this taxidermy for sharing this information is to get 500 subscribers, and I'm going to set up my own little shop that I can sell some of the things that I do, some different things I have that are associated with taxidermy, some different supplies, and that's kind of where I want to go. That's my next goal on giving all this information away for free, and also to help and continue the trend of taxidermy. But back to the meat end of things, okay?
And
unfortunately,
looking into, not to interrupt, but looking into seeing if we're able to show more of those detailed videos without.
Yep, they change the rules of the game all the time. So
Something we got to look
yeah,
into.
so we're not going to put tens of thousands of hours into showing, you know, the skinning process and all this stuff. I've seen this happen with the Canadian trappers showing how to skin lynx and guys trapping bobcats and, you know, stuff like that. It's a touch and go situation. So unfortunately, I can't show you the skinning process of this. I am going to show you how to take the feed out of this beaver down the road, how to get it skinned down to the last knuckle. I'm going to show you how to use this original tail. And the other thing I want to get at right now is I want to show you a couple different techniques if you're a beginning taxidermist. And some of you might know this already, some might not, but we're just going to run through it real quick. Okay, we're going to take this beaver, we're going to cut it from the base of the skull right here, and we're going to cut it right down the middle of the back to the base of the tail. All right, and that's what's called a dorsal cut. Dorsal, obviously back. Okay, we're going to have a back cut. Now, the other way you could do it, and that's what I like to work with, because I'm going to pull this over the top here, and I might actually, after I make my initial cut right here, I might take an inch or two of fur. If you recall the girth that we had on this, we had a little bit too much. I might take that right out. And when you do that, okay, when you make this cut right here, you want one nice smooth cut. You don't want to go against the flow of the fur. Okay, you don't want to cut any hair off, have cut hair on your back seam when you sew that together. And the way you can get away with that right now in the taxidermy trade is, you know, this has got some long fur, and we're looking at some spots. This beaver, even this little guy, he's got some 1 inch fur in some spots right here. It sure is pretty. So, anyways, we're going to make that cut right to there. And I might take an inch strip out on both sides. But when I do that, I always want to go with the flow of the fur. I don't want any cross-cut hair. I don't want anything cut up backwards, you know, so that when you sew this together, you get a nice transition here. And that's why I selected this little guy. I saw that right away when he was taken out of the body gripper, that he didn't have a big bunch of fur lost right here. So that's going to help make this a really nice mount down the back and throughout the whole pelt, and like I said, no foot damage. The other method of cutting this beaver would be called a case method, and that would be when you go from hind foot, okay, down the inside right here, down to the anus area, and the same thing on the other side. You would go basically right through here, okay, all the way down through the hind foot. That's called case, and then you could pull the whole thing off, and you could run that method too. But I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna dorsal this because when I do my test fit after it's tanned, I might actually take an inch off of both sides. I'm probably gonna have to do that because he's got a little bit more beef than this
He's
little
a
cute
chub.
guy. He's little chubs, yeah. He's been eating too much birch. But anyway, that's what we're gonna do. I guess in this video, let's just do this. All right. Now, when Joe and I do this, like I said in the taxidermy trade, time is money. I've said that probably in every one of my videos. You always got to be doing something. Your hands got to be moving. And we don't like to cut, paste, edit. Once in a while, we'll do that. You know, spend a little bit of time on our videos. But I just like to go with the flow, whatever comes to my mind, whatever I want to share. No Houdini tricks, no secrets. It's all out there, front and available for you, free of charge. So again, please hit that subscribe button. It only takes you a second. We put a lot of effort into this. And the only thing, like I said, back to the editing part of this, you know, I don't like to do that, so I'm kind of on the fly. And squirrel. Squirrel.
It's not a squirrel, it's a fish.
Oh, okay.
We don't have a... Oh,
Did I tell you I'm a taxidermist?
squirrel.
But anyway, as long as she's up there, catch us right there. eBay 10,000_lakes_taxidermy. A lot of the stuff's available for sale. Everything from fish to raccoons. We got some dead mount rough grouse rolling on there right now. Little promo. No, yeah, since it's beaver, not promo. It's promotion for Joe's site, Lakes, Life, and Homesteading. That shows us building our new taxidermy studio, / Joe's art studio, her canning, her cooking. It's all there too. So if you want to check that out, that's
Just a
available.
little remodeling and bringing the homestead back. Way
Yep.
up there, that's one dead mountain grouse. I know it's out in the corner. We're running out of room here. We're still... Yeah, we kind of lost a little time there. It did get cold on us, so working in the shop, we just got to get our wood stove in there, and we'll have to pick that up a little bit later. But
Yep, right. I'm guessing I've been rambling for 15 minutes. I hope this helped you out. Shared some stuff. At the same time, we're trying to build a little steam, create a little bit of revenue on our end. It goes a long way when you're homesteading and you're in the taxidermy industry, and we want to pass on the tradition. And when we get to this Upland Game Bird series, I've done so much of that. I've done so much fish work that, what can I say? I get bored. You know, I mean, with the numbers and the revenue that I'm going to show you in the Upland Game Bird series that you can literally make, it's going to make your head spin. If you're good, you're talented, you want to work at it, you want to pound away, there is money to be made in the Upland Game Bird. Not so much in the grouse because you have to go out there, you have to chase after it, you have to harvest it. You know, a lot of the birds you get aren't good quality. I mean, they're shot up. If the dog retrieves it, he's going to chew on it. But there is, in the pheasants, there is definitely a demand for pheasants. And it's because of the color, the coloration. And then Joe and I do our bluegills. That's another thing. We like the coloration. I do some that are really heavy blue. You know, the stringer mount over here, we do a little bit of different.
But I mean, I do a lot of fishing, and they're all different. They all have different patterns. They all have different colors. So yeah.
Yeah, we got a pumpkin seed right there. We got a fox going on right here. We're just gonna finish that up. We got to do a little touch up on the face. But anyways, back to the beaver. We're just gonna wrap this up. Like I said, we're not gonna do anything on this, and we're just we're trying a different perspective. If you're with us this long, I know you appreciate what we're doing here, and we just want to show you a couple of maybe pro tricks behind the scenes stuff here. So this is the very end of this. This is going to give you some value, and let's show you what we're going to do. All right, so we're going to use this original tail. Obviously, this beaver is going to sit like this. This is the bottom side of the tail. Okay, that's going to be on your downside. You don't want to cut the top of the tail because you're going to have a hard time hiding your incision. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a small incision, okay, right here. Straight line to, you don't quite have to go all the way through the tip of the tail. Okay, maybe a ½ inch shy. That'll get you to where you want to be. And what you can do is you can just start to peel this back. Like I said,
I'm trying. Every time I get it on there, then his hand's in the way.
I got big hands. Small beaver. Okay, just like that. And what you're doing is basically you're going to take.
I'm going to have to.
Joe's not tall enough. Should I get you a box?
Yes, so.
But this tail is like leather, and you'll get a feel for it. And if you cut through here, don't panic, because it's on the bottom of the mount anyway. You're not going to see it. It's a good little learning area, you know, if you're just going to do the one beaver and you make a hole, it's not a big deal. But to get the underside down before you roll around and start to do the top, that's more of an ideal situation. So there's going to be a lot of muscle and sinew in here that you're just going to have to get a feel for. And you can tell when you're getting close, you know, to cutting through. You can see right there. Okay, right in there. It gets darker. That means you're like to the webbing of the tail, I guess, so to speak. And you got to kind of back off a little bit. But this is going to take a little time. And again, it's your call in the industry. You know, as far as a taxidermist, this is why a lot of guys opt to use a foam tail. And if this is a bigger beaver, I would definitely do that. I would use a pre-molded tail. And they're up there in value, you know, too. I mean, as far as not value, price, you know, you're gonna take a hit to buy artificial tail. So if you want to spend the hour that it's going to take you to break this down to save yourself that $50 bill, that's your call in the trade, you know. And so you can see right there. Okay, you see where I'm at right there? That's the dark. I think you can see that right in there. Yep. So you know you're getting towards the edge. So you gotta back off of that a little bit. You gotta find a different route. But you can see it also is getting peeled back right here. So you get the idea. That's how you do it. You just peel this right back, just like that. You can tell right there I was getting close. Okay, to cutting through, which means I need to get back towards the meat of the tail, and I got to come underneath here more. Okay, you need to stop there, otherwise you're gonna split through right here. So that's all it is. You do on the other side the same way, and then what we're gonna do then is we're gonna come back, and after I get the carcass out of this beaver and everything, I'm gonna show you how to do more of this. But you know, we're no sense sitting here for 20 minutes watching me break this tail down. But you're gonna come back, and this is what you have to do right here. You have to get basically the gristle and the muscle and the fat off of this tail. And we're going to scrape that down so it looks something like that right there. See, we're right down to the blue. We got it all nice and cleaned up. That'll take a beautiful leather tan when it's like that. And it is going to take a little bit of time. This is a small beaver. It's not going to take forever and a day. You'll get the feel for it. It won't take very long. But yeah, that's part one. Thanks for hanging in there with us. And like I said, the next step is I'm going to get the carcass out of it, and we're going to come back, and I'm going to show you how to remove a couple of feet out of this, and we're going to break down this tail. So thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. We appreciate it. See you on the next one.